Hello everyone. Today we are going to further proceed with the chapter Tribals, Dikus and the Vision of a Golden Age. And today our topic is the Bhil Rebellion. So let's start. Bhil is a tribe of Mewar. Now let's get into some information regarding the Bhils. The Arkers are the tribals of Mewar, descendants of original inhabitants of India. So they were the descendants of the original inhabitants of India. The word Bhil is derived from Bil or Vil, meaning bow. The Bhils used to furnish the needs of princes of Mewar with bowmen. So the Bhils, they were basically used to fulfill the needs of the prince of Mewar by providing them with the bowmen supplies or by guarding their families. Some famous names of Bhils are Bhim, Bhim Singh Maharana, Bhimishi and Bhindar. All of them have special place in the ancient history of India. Bhils are the tribes of central India found in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Tripura. Out of India, they are also found in Bangladesh. Now we will talk about the revolt of wit. It is basically in the Banswara and Dungapur in Rajasthan in the year 1913. Led by Govind Guru. It began as a purification movement but later developed into a political one. Failure of their attempts to set up a Bhil Raj due to British armed interventions. Now we'll go with the nature of the tribal movements. Tribal communities' consciousness was very, very strong, not only agrarian but also forest-based. Some movements were ethnic in nature because were only directed against their exploiters. Some scholars say, like for example, R.S. Desai and Guha considered as peasant movement, but K.S. Singh criticized because of tribal social and political organization, social isolation from mainstream and their leadership pattern. Now we will go with the Bhil revolt, which was in the year 1818 to 1860. The Bhil majority areas are the Dungapur, Banswara, Pratapgarh and Shirohi. Bhil was a peaceful tribal community of Rajasthan when not disturbed by Rajput chiefs. In contrast, Mina's Bhils remained isolated from mainstream to some extent, were subsisting on shifting cultivation, hunting and forest products and were leading a self-sufficient economy. So they were having a self-sufficient economy, and they in some areas it is also seen that the Bhil, they didn't indulge with the mainstream of life. They had led their life with shifting cultivation, hunting and gathering the forest products. Bhils never came under the state control of Rajputs, and since the time immemorial, they had their own socio-political system, and their tracts were divided into various pulls or settlements, and each pull had a hereditary headman, which is known as the Gameti. Now the causes of the rebellion. Changes made by British government in administrative system provoked the Bhils to revolt against the semi-feudal or semi-colonial order in Rajasthan. Now, under the influence of British rule, outsiders, that is basically the revenue officials, the moneylenders, contractors, traders, came who had caused various forms of sufferings among the Bhil people, as well as the British legal conception of absolute private property eroded the traditions of joint ownership, which sharpened the conflicts within the tribal societies. Now, with the Treaty of 1818, the native forces were dissolved as well as Bhils were employed in the forces of state, but with dissolution of native forces, they became unemployed and all external and internal affairs were handed over by the Britishers. Now this is the entire place of the Bhil tribes, as you can see here in the map of India where they are located. This is the Bhil's, you can see the Bhil tribes settlements, okay, or houses. Now, resident Colonel James Todd tried to bring the Bhils under the control to establish the estate's authority upon them. The Bhils used to collect Rakwali tax, that is watch tax, from the neighboring village of their settlement, and Bolai tax, safety tax, on the passage of goods and travelers. Okay, Todd snatched these rights. Okay, now this was the immediate cause of the rebellion. By the 1818, they declared their freedom and stood against the state. Although Colonel Todd made efforts to pursue the Bhils for peaceful surrender, but Bhils refused to yield peacefully. So in the year 1823, in the month of January, the British and the state troops were sent to suppress them, but could not achieve permanently peace. Between 1809 to 1828, Bhils of Gujarat were in rebel. Making some new arrangement to suppress on 9 June 1836, the Maharwals of Banswara assured the British to suppress the Bhils through his own strict efforts, and the administration of Bhil tracts was taken over by the British, and an assistant political agent was appointed. Under his command, a Bhil corps was raised, in which Mewar government contributed almost ₹50,000 annually, and with the two cantonments were established in Kherwara and Kotra within the Bhil tracts. As you can see here in the picture, these are the Bhil tribes. This is the common food of the Bhil tribal people. So we can see that in the 19th century, tribal movement of Rajasthan and other parts of India had shared common features. That is, the movement had an impact on society regarding the social reforms. One hand, British government announced some concessions through the Bhil, and on the other hand, they established a network of military and civil control upon the Bhil tracts. They also played a positive role in the Great Civil Revolt of 1857. These movements became the important source of inspiration to civilize Indians to fight for the independence of India. So basically, by the entire discussion, we can say that the Bhil tribe, they didn't succeed with the British, but their freedom struggle, or the feeling of patriotism, it affected the entire country, and people, they started agitating against the Britishers, and they started fighting against the Britishers to get independence. So this was regarding the Bhil tribal rebellion. Thank you so much, everyone.